Oh. Hey, Thomas, it's time.
Hey, Scott. Good morning.
Man, it's been a long day. Oh, we can't sleep through the podcast. Happy
Gotta
Friday,
do it.
Thomas. Happy Friday. How are you doing?
I'm good. Why is it that sometimes shorter weeks feel like much longer weeks? This is a 4-day week. It felt like six days.
Oh my goodness. It's because we've had like 9 days of manhunt packed into those 6 days. It's been oh my goodness. Why can't they just find the guy? I mean, is that all we need? Can we just do like a Craigslist listing? We're looking for one good bounty hunter. That's all I mean, we've got guys who can sneak out in the woods and sneak up on a turkey. And if you can sneak up on a turkey, you got to be able to catch a 5 foot tall, 120 pound Brazilian who probably smells like, but worse than a turkey. Let's put it that way.
100%.
Oh man. Oh, it is good to be on the weekend already. It was a really, really short week. Yeah. Oh
yeah, it's been wild. I just out in the chat and I didn't even notice during our pre-show catch up. I love the shirt.
Hey, yes, I'm wearing your shirt. It's got the logo right up there above me as well. So you are Weather Watch on YouTube. I had every intention of watching the stream you have for the hurricane, and I never even looked.
So I don't have a new one for Hurricane Lee yet. I just have a community post.
Okay, good. Hurricane Lee is coming like next week, maybe.
Barreling down, yeah. So it's currently a Category 4, I believe. Last I checked, it's been a couple hours, but developing rapidly. It was a Category 5 already at one point, and then it got downgraded to a 4, which most people that ever made landfall like that can't tell the difference. But it looks to be, so it's tracking west-northwest, right, directly towards Florida right now. It looks like by early Wednesday morning, and maybe even a little bit before, it starts to really kick off and take its northern track.
I hear you, and all you weathermen are telling us that. But really, when I look at this map, I feel like I'm standing in the railroad tracks, okay? And the train is coming towards me, and I hear the horn. I can feel the vibration. I can see the headlight. And somebody on the side says, "Don't worry, it's going to turn. Don't worry, it's going to turn." Trains like that, this freight trains don't turn, do they? I mean, is it really going to get to the last minute just to be like, gotcha, faked you out. We're just going to hang out here in the ocean.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. At this point, that's the projected track, right? That cone of uncertainty that we always talk about. So there is still a chance that, no, it doesn't take that sharp turn north. Things can change within the environment and not allow it to get there, and it could stay going more westerly. That's just the projection now. I think come Monday and especially into Tuesday, there's going to be an even better idea of actually where it's going to go and what it's going to be. Regardless of landfall, the whole eastern seaboard is going to see and feel the effects of this storm.
We'll have some surfing waves for sure.
Yeah, some very dangerous ones.
Great news for surfers, bad news for swimmers. The beach erosion's probably going to be pretty bad as well. Yeah. Hopefully this does steer clear. Last thing we need is another hurricane right now.
No, you're absolutely right. So I haven't posted.
Is where it's going to be like it really solidifies, right? 5 days out is about as far as you can really be accurate.
With hurricanes, yes, they get so tricky. So I haven't made any videos or posted anything outside community yet because it's so far out. Once we get closer, I will have the thanks, Adam. Once we get closer, I'll have my stream up with all the graphics and everything playing. So when you're on, and if you want to steal it from time to time and show it and update the folks of where it's headed, I plan on doing that all next week.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So thank you very much. Well, so no hurricane this week. That's the good news. So we can put that in, we don't have to prepare. We don't have to board up any windows. We don't have to buy toilet paper, milk, beer, water, whatever it is you need to buy to prepare. We don't need to do it this week. what should we do this week?
No, you're right. You don't do that now. You wait until the day or two before it's actually there and there's nothing on the shelves. That's when you go get it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. The word is out. So you've heard it here. It's official from Thomas Weather Watch. Wait till panic till later.
Absolutely. Oh gosh. I don't have a feed up on the manhunt on the side in case something happens while we're live so we can bring it. Do you have
I'm
something?
watching a few things. I've got so like I've got some cameras that I've got in my background.
Perfect.
So yeah, I've got I think let me just check if Nick is still live. I don't think. Let's refresh that screen. Can't play it or else it's going to start making a whole bunch of noise because it's coming on the same feed that you're on. That would be bad, but yeah, it looks like Nick is still live, so I'll keep an eye on that. I'll keep him right there. Yeah, so we're good.
Perfect. And while you're doing that real quick, to answer the question prior to Adam's silly response is, no, I'm not a certified meteorologist. I've gone through spotter course training and classes and through Skywarn, things like that. Other than that, it's just a hobby for me. I've done all self-study. There's a lot of intelligent meteorologists on YouTube that are out there. And many of you all know Ryan Hall, even a younger gentleman, Nate Snyder, things like that. They are much more educated in that realm than I am. I just have a big passion for it and a little bit extra knowledge.
I know
what's it.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey. Hockey. I'm not sure if you heard today. I openly challenged Ryan Hall to a YouTube competition. Openly. I'm just like, bring it. And I'm confident. I mean, I realize he can have 73,000 people on a live stream at once and keep them all entertained and informed at the same time. And I can't do that, but I'm challenging him to a live streaming contest to see who can sit in front of the camera the longest without taking a break. And I've got him beat hands down.
You win all day long.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's my idol, but on that one, I'm giving you all my money's going on you.
And the show won't even be sponsored by Depends. I mean, we'll like an under desk cam just to make sure,
that's a whole different type of Lucy cam.
Yep, we won't go there. Anyway, in other news, what can we talk about to change the topic just a little bit?
So we've got a manhunt going.
Yes.
With manhunts, you never know if they come peacefully and they're under arrest, or if something unfortunate happens and the person doesn't make it and we end up with a body. So this is actually out of Matthew Harris Law's hometown, a highway just outside. I found this
down in Texas, for those who aren't familiar.
Yep. Down in Texas, Lubbock, Texas. A woman was driving on the highway and she saw what she thought was a body on the side of the road. So she took the next exit.
Normal for Texas?
No.
There's another one. No. Okay. So this is.
No, there's so many other areas to so she does a U-turn. She goes back to check it out. And sure enough, she sees a body on the side of the road. So she actually called her son because he lived just down the road and said, "Oh my gosh, I found this. You need to get over here." And then,
got a body. What to do? What do I do? Okay.
Right. So he's. Mom, what we call authorities.
2 sets of eyes are better than 1 to figure out what to do with the body on the side of the road.
Always. So they call the authorities and they get there and the police show up. And as they're approaching, they're thinking, oh, goodness, we have a body on the side of the road. And they get a little bit closer and it turns out it's a mannequin.
I switched places with you. I had to. A mannequin?
I got a little whiplash out of that.
Sorry, it was rather abrupt.
A mannequin, but it just so happens to be a mannequin of one that is of an adult companion that was on the side of the road. That's what they
friend.
More or less, it's like one that would float in a pool, perhaps type.
Oh, like a swimming buddy.
Hey, what some people do with it is up to them, but
right there. I think that's your drift. An inflatable mannequin. I think that's what you were trying to say.
That's it. Inflatable mannequin.
All right.
So
I'm surprised it didn't like blow away as like trucks were driving by or something.
That's where my thought went too. So they tie bricks to its legs and they threw it, and I don't, I, I I don't know how that goes, but that was no,
So
chat's gonna go fun.
the police show up. Can you imagine writing the report as the officer? It's like, we got the call for the body at this time. And it turns out that. So who's the officer that had to put it in the back seat and haul it away? You know? There's some police officer out there that somebody's got a picture of a cop driving with this in the back seat of the car. You know that is how it ended up. And the guy's like, "Look at me! Don't look at me!"
Or did he just take his switchblade out?
Stab it.
Yeah, evidence bag.
Yeah. I think that's probably the smarter thing to do, or run it over. It's like, let's hide this thing for once and not for all. Oh man, that was Texas. I guess that's not where you're supposed to hide your inflatable companions.
Not especially out in that area. It's pretty flat land. So, but
wrong answer is only how do you get rid of an unwanted inflatable? Asking for a friend. I honestly don't know. Do you put them in your trash? Like I don't know. Open, set them in. What's the right way to say, okay, we don't want this around? Take it to the dump.
Take it to the dump.
You take it to them, or does someone else? Helium says toys.
I loved it.
The else's problem at that point. Recycle. No. This is wrong. Oh my goodness. Helium is the best answer. I think that is right. You divorce it.
You like this one too. Use it for a windsock.
It depends how much you like your neighbors. You could always use it for like Halloween, for decorations around the yard. Like, I mean, my neighbors are all gung-ho on inflatable Halloween decorations. I think it would fit right in.
So you and Angie are on board together. White elephant gift. You just re-gift the thing.
Funny. We were talking about regifting. Let me just say, we always talk about things.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
I went to a secondhand store, and I found an inflatable. This was a birthday cake, an inflatable birthday cake, and it was almost like 12 feet tall and had this little battery pack and a cord. And I gave it to somebody. I set it up in their yard as a prank, and I had a little note, a paper that basically said, gotcha. Okay, there's this huge prank, and it lights up, has lights on the inside. It was so cool. But you stick it in their yard at night, plug it into their little outlets on the outside, and it's just funny. And all the neighbors look at you, and it looks awful. It's like sticking pink flamingos in somebody's yard. Okay, it's nobody likes that. But I put a little note that says, you can't throw this away. You have to give it to somebody else. it got passed around in the community. And eventually, somehow the note changed, and people started actually using it when it was somebody's birthday. It was like the community, it became the community cake, and they'd use it to actually celebrate people's birthdays. And I started that as a prank, thinking like nobody would want this in their yard, and now they actually are doing. Oh, it's so nice! Somebody put the cake in my yard. I appreciate that. Thank you, community, HOA, whoever it is. It was anyway. Started as a joke, but now it's like a real thing.
So you've got a history
with $3.
So you've got a history with yard pranks. We've got FU plants, and now we've got inflatable prankster. So I'm willing to bet there's more behind all this. That
there's more stories.
Yeah, of course.
We won't go into them tonight. We don't have time or space to go into those stories. But
oh, that's just handy.
I won't be confessing to any crimes on tonight's show. I've done that last week, and I'm not going to do it this time.
Yeah, not ideal.
You never know who's going to be watching.
Right.
Oh, okay. Man, speaking of pranks, I don't want to tell this one. I started something, and I don't want to tell this story. How do I back out gracefully from an intro?
Well, you can't. Well, it's the Not Relevant podcast, so you just bring up something that's irrelevant.
Speaking of pranks, do you have any pranks, Thomas, you'd like to share? How about that? I just passed the buck to you.
Way to hand over the baton. No, I don't play pranks on people. That's just mean.
Man.
No,
well, we'll talk about the weather, because that's not relevant. Is it warm down where you are?
Let's see, my little weather station right now. It says it's 103 degrees and temperature's falling. Barometer's at 29.8.
Did you get
and
rejected at the pearly gates? Are you?
fall.
Why is it so hot?
And then
It's 79 here.
I almost want to take my camera off again like I did last week and show outside my window. I am in a severe thunderstorm warning at the moment.
Man.
And it's beautiful. And then just as 2 weeks ago, just to my west, we have an 800-acre wildfire going that is 0% contained as well. So ash is currently blowing into our backyard and our pool. So,
and you chose this moment to close the windows and decide to broadcast a podcast while your neighborhood is burning down around you.
terrible air quality out there.
This is dedication. This is the second forest fire you've had in your neighborhood during a podcast. Do you know that? I'm beginning to see a connection. I'm not saying you are the connection between the fires and podcasts. And, just saying with chat. What do you think?
This
Are we on
podcast is on
something here?
fire. No,
Tag-
fortunately, this one I don't have to evacuate from.
Okay, that's good. Tag says, speaking of pranks, my son wouldn't clean his room, so I deemed it a crime scene. I taped it off and everything, even have the evidence photos. Did you bag it all? Because you have to bag all the evidence and put it in the garbage. That's how you finish that prank for your kids. That really hits home when you do that. It's hot. It's hot most everywhere. We heard during the manhunt up in Pennsylvania, it's been hot and humid. It's hot where you are. It's been pretty hot today. It's cooling off finally, and it's welcome at last. It was hot down in Florida, which it normally is, and we have a story actually out of Florida. How's that for a segue? Was that smoother?
It's butter.
Okay, it's hot down in Florida. We have some concerns. We had up in PA. We had a dog that got some heat exhaustion. Wild animals can have the same sort of thing. As a matter of fact, bears like to cool off now and then. We've seen some videos where bears climb into people's pools in the backyard.
Yeah, we had that last week. That's right.
It's a real thing, and it's not a rarity. I mean, it's something that happens a lot. Although usually the bears stay on the outside. You might see them in your sprinklers in the pool, cooling off, sometimes jumping on the tramp. If you've seen that one, that's a fun video. You might want to search that sometime. But there was one bear, a very, very unique. Well, it's not really a whole bear. It's like 3/4 of a bear. A bear's name is Tripod.
Oh, he's not okay.
Because he has this many feet instead of this many.
Okay.
So he's missing one. But a 3-legged bear down in Florida decided he wanted to cool off, and instead of doing the whole "I'll jump in the neighbor's pool" thing, he jumped in the neighbor's house. And
Really?
Where do bears go when they go in your house? They start looking for food. So the bear opens the fridge, checks the fridge. The fridge has what else to cool off but White Claws.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, one for each leg. He drinks the White Claws, and then wanders out. Or something close to that. I may have slightly modified the story to fit the scenario, but really a 3-legged bear, 3 White Claws, and he's good to go. He wanted to get back and take it easy.
That's funny. I heard a little bit about the story too, and I heard when the residents in the community were interviewed about it, they say he's a regular in the neighborhood, not at the bar, but the neighborhood.
He will be a bar now.
Yeah. So they're not concerned when they see him because he just kind of strolls through and he leaves everything alone. But I wonder if people are going to start leaving drinks out for, hopefully bear approved, but if he's going, so they don't come inside.
Don't
Stay over
get
there.
your neighborhood bear drunk.
No, not
Bears make bad decisions when they're sober. Okay? A drunk bear makes really bad decisions, and it doesn't end up well for the wildlife or the people it makes decisions about. So, just that's food for thought there, or not food for the bear.
this heat. It's getting after the bears too.
Yeah,
it's driving everybody nuts. I will say it's awesome though. There is a cold front starting to move through the U.S. That's partially what's sparking up some of these storms out in our search area right now, but it's going to continue moving through. So we've been in triple-digit temperatures. In fact, we were 110. We were 110 at one point today.
Triple digits.
Yeah,
my math.
We watched a trial when they said 1010, so I'm going to blame it on that. But no, we hit 80s with thunderstorms and even into the 70s next week. So it's going to be freezing for us. We're going to be in sweatshirts and new Recovery Addict hoodies.
I was gonna say I know a guy that sells hoodies. I'll have to meet up with him. No, that's a huge temperature change. What a
It is.
shock! What a shock system. Really.
And it's needed. I mean, animals, plants, everything, you name it. It's been mentally beating for so many people in this heat when it's just day after day after day. So our AC went out again a few days ago. And on
Have
my
you asked for a refund yet?
no,
'Cause they hooked you up with a bad AC.
bad. So my first 12 phone calls to local repairmen, they were all 2 weeks out for repair. It's fast as I could get in. My 13th call, we had a guy, he was in the neighborhood leaving from a job, and he said, I will swing by, and he fixed it. The biggest blessing ever, because it was so hot and terrible. So it's happening to everyone, though. That's just not a pity for me. It's been just needed to cool down.
Do you know the trick to getting the repairman to come out?
Well, you wait like 2 months apparently, but I don't know what.
I figured it out. Unfortunately, it's expensive, but it works every single time. You have to find a company where you're talking to the actual person. When you call, you're talking to the actual person who's going to make the call, who's going to come out. Okay. And then you make the call and they tell you the same thing. It's going to be 2 weeks. And you say, I'll give you an extra $200 cash if you're here today. And usually by the time you're hanging up at the phone, you hear them peel into the driveway. And it's like, I happen to be in the area. And the receipt doesn't show the $200 cash. Everybody's happy. And yeah, it's expensive, but you can get service that way. Usually. Try it. Just
So
money.
bribery
works. I have to use it with my kids for years. I don't know why I didn't think about this with true professionals. I mean, we raise our kids teaching them that bribery works. They're like, hey, clean your room. I'm like, what do I get if I clean your room? Fine, I'll give you a candy bar. And it works. Well, you go up, grow up, start a business, and somebody calls you and says, hey, come do some work. You're like, well, what do I get if I do it? Well, you get $200 cash on the side. All right, I'll be right there.
Well, so let's see who can bribe you with the biggest super chat to get you to admit the prank that you bowed out of admitting about 10 minutes ago.
Not gonna happen.
If bribery works,
it will be a waste of money. Zero. I have zero guilt right now. Let me tell you how absolutely convicted I am in not telling you the story I started to talk about.
Let's hear it.
It's not going to happen. So no, there's no guilt. Amber,
there it is.
I will go to. I will lay down on my bed. I will fall asleep seconds after my head hits my pillow. I will not feel guilty for a moment about your hard-earned change burning a hole in my pocket. Not at all.
Okay. Don't send super chats because he's not going to do it. Amber, I must send you the $199 back.
I'm going to refund the money, Amber. Cancel that credit card. It's coming back.
I was about to put one in too, but I'm going to hold off.
Yeah. Don't do it. We'll save that for later.
Oh goodness. Oh, the boss is making an appearance.
No, my son brought in Ryan Apple Snapple. Sent me George the pickle, and he's mad because I call him George, but apparently it came with the paper that said his name was Charles. I'm like, what does the paper know? He clearly looks like a George, and he's frustrated that I call him George.
I love it.
Oh man. Okay. Do we want to play a game? Is it too early for a game?
I love games. We'll swap out. We usually do a top three or some other goofy style. I'm in for a game.
Okay. Do you want to explain how it works? How the game works?
Yes. So
I'm not sure if I understand the rules, and I've been known to cheat before because I say I don't understand the rules. So here, I'll be held accountable by you explaining the rules, and all chat being my witness. If he doesn't tell me a rule, I can play the way I want the game to go, and it will still count in favor for me.
Okay, fair. So
thanks for the photos. I saw them. I'm not able to transfer them right now, but thank you very much.
Sorry, my mic. Is my sound okay?
Yeah, we sound good. We got you.
Okay, I had a fallout. So the game is called Describe It, and it's actually been known for homeschooling purposes as well, not just games. So for those that are, obviously you don't have the visuals that Scott and I have. It's a deck of cards electronically that we flip over. and an object is shown. We're going to rotate. We're going to take turns. We have to describe what we're seeing in our card without saying what it is. But we're going to switch it up a little bit because some of them are so so basic that I'll give Scott a hint and he'll nail the first one. So we're going to switch it up. We're going to use kind of silly, goofy, or sarcastic ways to describe what's on our card. So it's not really competition. We're just going to try to make light of some of these that we'll see.
Okay, so let me tell you what I heard. Make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
We have a deck of cards. I have a digital deck. You have a digital deck. I'm going to be the only one that sees my card. It's not going to be on the screen. You're not going to show your card on your screen either.
Correct.
But when we flip it over, it's going to have something on the other side, and we have to describe it. Is it going to be like a drawing, picture, word?
All of the above.
Video.
There's some are no video. Some are drawings. Some are actual pictures. And then there's just one word that states what that object is for clarity, because there are some pictures look like it's drawn from kindergarten. But I can't see your cards. We have a separate platform that I laid out. And we'll just take turns. And it might be hilarious, especially with chat guessing, or it might be a complete fail since I put it together. So, well, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first to kick it off?
Well, now I'm nervous now that you've said it might be a complete fail. I don't want to own it, but I will go first. I will. Let me
Okay.
There might be some loud noises here as I get this set up. Let me show chat just for a minute what we're dealing with, right?
Oops.
This is the deck of cards. So
Yep.
Thomas, don't peek.
Okay.
Keep your eyes closed. Okay. I'm going to show chat for just a minute. Don't rewind or anything, and quit looking in the mirror, Thomas. I can see the mirror. Pull your hat down over your eyes. Don't peek anybody. Okay, here's our picture right there. Does everybody see that? Wait for that. Okay, that's our picture. Okay. Wait, don't. Okay, so here we go. Thomas, I'm thinking of something. This is a natural occurrence in nature, a powerful force. Extremely hot, comes from underground, causes a lot of damage. Mount St. Helens.
Volcano.
Okay, and that was pretty lame. The volcano is an easy one.
So that's why we have to.
Now you go.
So this is what we have to be. So we got to make them funny. So for example, this one is easy, but I'm not trying to trick you up. We're trying to make it comical.
At the beginning, I have to make them funny. Okay, go ahead.
So, how can we do this? Let's see. Like this one is just way too easy. So when Adam Nusky is trying to court Ivan, he talks to him in a very low voice. That would be known as a
like sweet nothings. What
is so Adam is talking to Ivan in an extremely low volume, known as
like a husky Adam Nusky voice. No. One more hint. Give me another. Seduction. Whisper.
Chat. Yeah, there it is. Got it.
Sorry. Thank you. I thought we were rhyming with Nusky. I'm like,
No.
Husky? That's got a low voice. Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna do another one, and I'm gonna let chat guess as well.
Okay.
Let me describe a little bit my life, and you can guess what this item is. Mrs. R.A. can tell you this is true.
Wait, is this part of the riddle of the object?
Yeah, you have to guess what this is. I have a condition where I have a difficult time getting rid of some things from my life. Some things that other people might look at and say, there's no need for that. And I did not live through the Depression, but my grandparents did. And I look at something and I say, yes, I'm going to keep this around. I'm going to keep this around because odds are I'm going to need this item. And this item takes up a ton of space and is rarely ever useful. And it's recyclable. Not cables.
Wow. So it's a specific item. It's not a condition.
All sorts of sizes. It's what cables come in.
Boxes.
boxes. I save all the boxes I get in the mail, and I stack them by size, so I nest them together so it takes less space. And
Do you really?
and I have, like, behind my door, I have boxes and boxes right here that are empty, and I stack them so they take little space. And no, I'm not a hoarder. It's just right here. It's just my one spot. And Mrs. RA will frequently throw them away when I'm not looking, and I'll see them all crushed. And then she'll be like, "Hey, I need to ship something. Do we have any?" I'm like, "See, told you." He needed the box. I'd say boxes. That was the answer.
Just because it's narrowed down into one specific thing doesn't make you not a hoarder. You said
boxes equal roaches.
That's right.
Oh man, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 boxes. Right there.
Oh, that's not bad. I take back what I said. That's not bad at all.
Last week, Mrs. RA cleaned everything out.
She threw 1,000 away.
I don't know why I'm not synced on audio. I apologize. But
it skips occasionally, but every once in a while it's fine. So it might be something to do with
if I move the mic right here, then it looks like it's synced. Is that better?
It might have something to do with live streaming 18 out of 24 hours.
Okay, go ahead with your next one. I'm gonna get this next one right first try.
Yes, you will. You actually have to let chat chime in before you answer, because you'll get it right away. So this is a place typically Mrs. RA makes you stay after putting your foot in your mouth after Friday night podcasts.
Do I have to stay here all night long?
No, it's not that chair.
It's one of two things, and chat has nailed it. It's either the doghouse or the couch, and I'm going to go with the doghouse. The couch. I'm going with the couch. That's my final answer.
Phone a friend for the couch. They killed it. They were all over it.
Yeah.
But the good news is soon it'll be the Airbnb if there's no one staying in it. So you'll have your own little apartment.
Yes. That's a big doghouse. 2 bedrooms.
It's actually called a bachelor pad at that point.
High-speed internet. Yeah. What's not to love about that? Okay. I'm liking this. I'm going to see. I'm hoping I get a really good one here.
I didn't see how many cards are in each deck before we do it. We might have to set a limit. We can't just keep going. What'd you just see? Something scared you.
I turned the page.
Oh no, you can play a new card if you don't want to go down the road. That's
been all the cards. Oh my goodness. How do you describe this?
Must take the hand that's dealt to you.
When if like somebody who's really like masculine or feels like they're masculine or wants to be tough, wants to assert themselves and threaten violence. They often will threaten to do a certain thing, which seems weird. It's actually a fictional item. I don't think you can actually get it, but they say they're going to use this fictional item, and the idea is that they're going to use this item with their bare hands. But in reality, everybody uses a device to help them do this. Am I breaking bread?
It's not masculine. Use a knife.
If you were mad at somebody and you're like, you don't want to threaten them directly because that would be a crime, right? You can't say, I'm going to pound your face in. You say, I'm going to open up
can opener.
Can opener. It's a can opener.
Yes. Nice.
A can of whoopee on somebody. It's a can opener. I don't know how else to describe that.
No, for not going super direct. You did good on doing that. I like it. Can opener. Oh, that brings me back to Waterboy. Open a can. Whoop.
Can whoop.
Yeah. The movie's a little different. Oh no, I got to go back.
Between Jody and Jenny, right here. Hang on, let me show this. Jody says this, and Jenny says this. So I think we got the meaning.
If we pair the two together and it has a baby, we get the exact word that we're looking for.
Yep.
Let's see here. Okay. This one might, all right. I got to figure out a way. Again, I could get you to say this word really easy, but we got to make it a little bit more fun. Man, how do I go with it? I thought this was going to be too easy, and it's not. It's being harder.
It's getting harder and harder.
Well, because of the rule of trying to make it funny. My cards just did something. Okay. This is I shouldn't say most because I actually don't know. But for those of you that used to go to the mall just to hang out, this, in my opinion, had to be one of the most popular favorite snacks of all time. And sometimes you do this with words on your live stream.
A snack that you do with words?
So it's a popular snack, one of the most popular snacks. But sometimes you happen to do this with your words on a live stream.
I mispronounce them. How's that?
That's one way. That's one way to do it. Some people have got
salad. Twist them. Pretzel. I pretzel is it pretzel?
Bingo.
How did you guys get that?
How did you get it?
Pretzel from first of all, I've never been to the mall as a kid. I was not that kid. First of all, the mall was a scary place for little nerds like me. You didn't go to the mall because you would never come back. You would just disappear into the crowd. But second of all, I don't think I ever ate a pretzel as a kid.
Like the big soft pretzel that you tear off and dip in nacho cheese?
In the movies and everything, you've got the people, a little napkin with the pretzel and everything, and they're walking around the fairgrounds. I've never had one. All right, hang on. I like the crunchy pretzels, but the breaded ones, the big pretzels, never had it.
This is going to change.
Can you order me a pretzel? How does that work? Pretzel by mail. I think that's what.
I've got your P.O. box right here. Let's see. I'm going to send you. You've never the big giant salted pretzels and dipped it in nacho cheese?
Peter Ware just spoke to my soul. Look at this. Where are you at, Peter?
Oh, I've got massive thunder.
If your power goes out, I have to do this game on my own, and that would not be nearly as fun. Peter just said pretzels equal salty, nasty something. Breaded, salty, nasty is a big pretzel.
Well, there you go.
Now on the next date with Mrs. R.A., I'm going to have to eat a pretzel.
I think
they actually sell them at Sam's Club. Is that an acceptable place? I mean, I figure if you get them at the mall is not necessarily fine dining, right?
Well, actually, if there's a Wetzel pretzel in the mall, it's always a kiosk. They're some of the best. They are so good. But you can go get some frozen ones. You bake them and then you spray them with salt, dip them in, and or you spray them with water, dip them in the salt, and it's not the same, but you get the concept. But I mean, no, we've got Polly says, do not do Sam pretzels.
Okay.
If it's your first, I'd say, yeah, find a Wetzel pretzel, but I don't know if they're in North Carolina. So, what do we got? You want to do one more each and then move on?
Sure. I've, this is the most random picture. I flipped through the entire deck and the last card, the very last card in my deck. Okay. Okay. So are you like a cultured person, Thomas? Do you consider yourself, cultured in the fine arts? It's usually the farts. Fine arts is I think that's abbreviated down. But are you cultured? Ignore the potty humor. That was a red herring.
So anytime I do, I find out how far away from that I am from your chat, because you have some extremely smart and well versed and cultured people in your audience. So I used to think so. I would now have to say no.
Okay, so
I've been humbled by your audience.
Cultured? Medium or like rare?
I'll go medium rare.
Medium rare. Okay, so
Yeah.
you might get this one. I'm thinking.
If I don't, then that means I'm just an uncooked steak sitting on the shelf.
Do you sing much? Are you like you say? I don't know it's rather personal, but when you climb in the shower and bar of soap, water's going. Does a tune come into your head and suddenly you find yourself humming, and the next thing you know, you're like fully resonating in the bathroom, shaking the walls? Do you find yourself in that situation very often?
Well, so I don't climb into the shower because mine's on the first floor. I just step in. But it also depends on if it's my morning or night shower. I typically in the mornings, I'm not in the mood to sing and get going because my daughter's, I know she's running late, so I have to hurry to get her in gear and have all the anxiety in the world. Evenings more so. So yes, I will sing a tune or two in the shower.
Okay. So with all those questions in mind, I'm going to give you 3 words or 3 clues, and you have to guess what this card is. All right?
Just 3? Did you freeze?
Founding fathers. I'm still thinking. Founding fathers. That's 1.
Okay.
King and music.
Founding fathers, king and music. I got it.
What is it?
Well, I don't know. I'm so confident I'm gonna get shamed in chat if I do it.
I'm looking in chat.
I'm gonna go Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, maybe 5 clues. We'll give you 5 clues.
Yeah. There's no way I'm gonna get this.
Not Elvis.
I wanted to go with Elvis first, but I thought that'd be too obvious.
Okay, the reason I asked about the shower is there's a song that I would sing in the shower. This music is something I'd sing in the shower. No, it's not Elvis. Bare Naked Lady.
Assume you and I would sing the same song in the shower?
I thought it was like a universal type thing, and that I was just succumbing to the universal desire to sing this song in the shower. I'll add 1 more clue. Musical.
That's an amazing clue. Out of all the clues.
I bet chat will get this. Musical, founding fathers, king, and music.
Opera? No, you don't sing opera in the shower.
Bingo. Daisy Sojourner. Daisy, you bailed us out. And she was saying what everyone was thinking, just for the record. Tell me my clues were not perfect and amazing.
Chat, please chime in on the clues if they're not perfect. Would 1 person in chat? Well, no, there's a couple more. Got it. Crystal. A few more.
I can't think of any better clues I could have given you. And I preface, everyone sings Hamilton in the shower.
Let's hear it.
There's not enough super chats in the world right now for me to break it out to some Hamilton. You sing in the shower because no one else can hear you, right? That's why you sing it in the shower. This is Broadway level music. Your card was Alexander Hamilton. It was Hamilton. Card was Hamilton. That's all it was. Just this one right here.
I do it because I just think the audio sounds better than it does in my studio. I try not to sing.
Okay, so you don't sing in the shower, and I don't go to the mall and eat pretzels. I think we figured that out today. But we're going to leave this awful version of the game on for another time.
We'll do that one different. That was fun though. That was definitely much different than we've done before.
Yeah, people are Googling Hamilton. Yeah, you're going to watch Hamilton. It's an amazing musical if you watch that. It's a lot of culture. Some historical inaccuracies may be presented, as my wife may insist that I say.
Do you want to go on
there you go.
Do you want to do a quick field trip? See the storm that's blowing in right now?
Yes, please.
Let's see if I can. Don't know. We did it last time.
We're on a field trip.
All right, look away so you don't get dizzy. I've got to unwrap this from a cable.
No. We want the spin. Whee!
Oh, it's stuck.
Nope. There we go. Ooh. You have lightning out there?
Yes. Let me pop out this.
Can
Let me
you
pop
make
out the screen.
While we're watching, since you are the weatherman. Oh, now we're outside. We're out on Thomas's roof right now.
No, I took my screen out. Our screens are on the inside, so that way you can. I don't know. Can you see the flags starting to whip around?
Yeah, I see a little wind there. See the trees blow.
Oh, the neighbors are coming outside the front door. I wonder if they can see me since my lights are on in here. I think I'm creeping. I can't on this one. And they're children. That's not.
Never mind. Don't show that. Thomas, we don't have permission to show the kids.
There's the.
Anyway, a storm's coming in your neck of the woods. We need to finish the podcast before it hits.
Yeah. There's oh boy, this camera's gonna fall off. I've seen Scott's cable management. Try not to dox mine as well. So.
What's wrong with my cable management? Look how neat it looks right now.
Unhook.
It's dark.
Unhook the GoPro and take us behind that laptop real quick.
No. From this angle. This is the proper angle. You shouldn't see anything beyond right here.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, it's funny, all that equipment and all the cable management. I don't have nearly the stuff you have, albeit I have a few things you have. And thanks to you, because you've actually sent me a few things here.
We have the same soundboard, huh?
We do. We have the same soundboard, same mic.
Good stuff. That's how we can hear each other.
Yeah. Rode's awesome. It's
like
not cheap.
46 more cables. We'll be even. So,
got a little auxiliary one right here. Don't know where it came from, but when I just played with my camera, it popped out from the back somewhere. So I don't even know if everyone can still hear me technically.
I can hear you. I think we can hear you just fine. Looks good.
Perfect. But speaking of expense and money, I've got a feel-good story for once. We always typically tell something kind of goofy or stray or wry. A feel-good story for once here. We've got, I don't remember the state where it was, but a gas station clerk actually stepped in and saved an elderly person. And it wasn't something of violence or anything like that. But he noticed an elderly individual at the Bitcoin machine on the phone acting kind of odd while depositing large sums of money, like continuing to put it in there.
Okay. Let me just say, elderly person at the Bitcoin machine generally is odd on its own.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
very few people who have lived through, say, like the Depression or more than 30 years of life are in the Bitcoin craze. And I say craze because I also have some Bitcoin, but yeah. I will own up. But I don't feel bad about having Bitcoin because I got it when it was $900 a coin, and I think it's that now. I haven't checked. So elderly person, the Bitcoin machine on the phone, feeding the machine like he's at the casino and about to win big.
Yeah, and so it's actually kind of funny what you said. Elderly person at Bitcoin. There's a meme out there from an interview. It's dead giveaway. Everyone's heard it when I've looked. But so he immediately just calls 911 and says, "I believe I have a customer in my store getting scammed right now." So police showed up within, I think it was like 1 minute because they were already in the area. And they go up to the gentleman, "Hi, we think you're being scammed. Can we please have your phone?" And so as soon as they said who they were on the phone, the scammers immediately hung up. So the gas station clerk saved him hundreds of dollars because he never actually transferred any of it over and it got away. But he was this close.
Are the worst. These are the scammers that call you up and convince you that you've bought something, they're trying to refund you. And then they go to refund your money, and they, using little tricks, computer tricks, they make your computer look like your bank account has received much more money than they should. And they say you need to withdraw that money and send it to us, or else, I'm going to get fired and my kids will be kicked out on the street and we're all going to die. And these people who think they're returning money that was wrongfully given to them end up pulling their own money out because no money was ever deposited by the scammers and sending it via Bitcoin. And once they hit that button, it is gone. And there's no way.
So there's actually scammers currently, and I've actually not spoken with, but I've exchanged emails with scammers that have targeted my company and myself and a few colleagues. They found our information on LinkedIn. They're from overseas. They found our LinkedIn. They made fake emails and whatnot, posing to be us and our company. Our company happens to use a lot of contract labor, 1099. So they post on job boards and they get attraction from individuals. They have them complete work for our company that is not legit or real. When it's time for them to pay out to these individuals, they say, to activate your account for us to deposit what you've earned, you need to send us a $30 deposit in this account. And then we'll transfer all the money back to you, including your deposit. And bam, they do it. And then the scammers are gone. So I actually, through some sleuthing and rerouting and finding IPs, and I've reached out personally and talked to the individuals. I pleaded with them to stop using my name personally, and they agreed. Now they use fictitious names. They don't use my actual name. But we sadly still get contract labor people that find our true website and send us things saying, "Hey, when are you paying me? What's going on?" And we have to explain them that we're like, you got robbed, man. We don't hire people through WhatsApp and all that. It's only through our website or however else we do it. But it's sad. They're really, really sneaky. I feel bad for those that come victim to it. So
yeah, Amanda Davis says, yes, I work at a bank and see it daily, sometimes more than once a day.
That's crazy.
We need to spread the word somehow. There's some great people online that do that. The scammer payback guys.
Yeah, pierogi.
I think Jim Brown is one that
Jim Browning.
Got Jim Browning. Yeah. There's quite a few of them that do this, and it just warms my soul when I see them just destroy these guys and get their buildings shut down. But
absolutely, they do good work. But it's if you do the research on it, look at it, it's really sad because for every one scam center that gets shut down, 3 more open. They hop everywhere. It goes crazy, depending where it's at. The law enforcement's involved, depending who's paying what. It's just so really the best thing you do is kind of like scammer payback is he attacks them, but it's also he educates. So the more you just tell people what scams are out there, that's what will shut it down the most.
And that'll shut it down.
Right.
Well, that probably with that clerk helping that guy is one of the best stories we've aired on here. And we're going to go straight from that best story to one that just completely stinks.
Perfect. Why not?
Transition is like, think everything good about that story, and now we're going to go to bad.
Okay.
And I get to be the bearer of bad news. Luckily, I mean, thank goodness I did not get to have to experience this myself.
Okay.
I get to relive this through someone else recounting. But there was a flight, commercial flight, with a lot of people on it, as commercial flights are. Airlines like to have the plane full. That's how they make the most money, is they fill all the seats and they're flying. And sometimes when you're flying, you get a little nervous. And some people are like, well, I'll order one of the little mini bottles or something, or I'll take a little pill and I'll sleep through the flight and everything will be fine. And some people, when they're nervous, their tummy gets a little upset. And then there's this guy who had a big tummy trouble on the plane.
Oh no.
And so imagine sitting in the seat and, the fasten seatbelt's on. And he's like, oh man, I've got to get back there. Rocking the motion, you're sort of looking, and you're still climbing, still altitude. You're like, oh man, I can't hold it any longer. Seatbelt comes off. The stewardess is like, sir, you've got to sit down. And he's like, no. And midway down the aisle, explosive.
No.
Yeah, he was mid-run when the runs hit him, and just it was like an evacuation, a personal evacuation.
Oh,
up and down the aisle.
That's
The pilot had to declare an emergency, basically, and turn around for hazmat. And anyone who's been in a situation like that where you cannot get away, and the smell is so pervasive, and it's just like, and then you have somebody who's like, I was feeling queasy before. Now I'm smelling and living this, and now the queasiness gets worse for me, and then you have the sympathy pukers who are like, oh my, the person next to me
he's
losing it, I'm losing it, and pretty soon it's like the worst plane ride of your life.
You know what I would have done if I was a pilot?
What? I just crashed. I'd be like, guys, this is it. We're not going to live through this one, unfortunately.
Oxygen masked.
Oh,
I would have dumped all the oxygen masks right away. Well, but it's probably, I don't know how that works. Did some of that get back into the mask? And now you're just, I don't know how it would work, but I just.
Weapons. That was me. When you got to go, you got to go.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. Nina's got, he called it biohazard and in the American plane. So, you might be saying American plane because it was from America, but it was Delta Airlines, but you're exactly right. It was deemed as biohazard. So he turned around, which is crazy. That's terrible experience.
Let me just say, I know they don't deep clean those planes between flights, but this one probably had to be decommissioned. After
I hope that thing is no longer.
All they do is add like another little life jacket pamphlet if the one got destroyed, and like sweep off the crumbs off the seat.
Right.
And that's about it. But the deep cleaning that would be required after this flight, they'll just be like, we're going to write off this plane. It was, we'll send it out to the desert to be decommissioned and taken apart to scrap metal.
Terrible.
I'm trying to see what the size of the plane was. I'm not sure if it was, of course, they're not sharing the flight because that might identify people that don't want to be identified in this, Stephen.
I think I've got it here. It looks to be,
turned around over Central Virginia and landed back in Atlanta more than 2 hours after its departure. 2 hours. Oh, my goodness. I don't know.
2 hours? Somebody have to be hospitalized? Sitting there for 2 hours?
The identity of the passenger was not released. Or if they were on board when they landed in Spain. The guy's like, you know what? I'm not going on vacation anymore. I quit. I cannot, clean up, change, and then retake my seat for the rest of this holy crap flight.
It looks like it was an Airbus A380 from Delta, if I'm seeing this right, I think.
So if it's going from Atlanta to Spain, it's got to be a bigger plane. It's not going to be like a little 2-3 split. It's going to be a larger plane.
Oh, you're right. They just used a stock image here of a Delta plane. It's not it can't be the actual one. That would be a real crappy plane ride to be.
Yes. Quite. You said
it.
Oh my
term.
Yeah, you mentioned whack-a-mole earlier. I'm thinking about this manhunt. We're going to go back and check that later this evening to see what the progress is, to see if anything has happened, if they've made any progress and capture this guy. I don't think they have, from the way that the perimeter still is quite active with officers and lights set up. Looks like this is continuing, so we're going to probably pop in after the podcast. But
cool.
Worst game of whack-a-mole ever happening right now in Pennsylvania, and everybody is losing except for one 5 foot tall, 120-pound guy.
He's losing, but he's not winning. He escaped prison, but he's not exactly sitting in a living room somewhere like he hoped he would be. I mean, he's just living outside in cornfields and forest, which, albeit, I'm sure is much better than prison. But with the pressure and the people and the stress and the hygiene, lack thereof,
it might smell a lot like that airplane about right now. A couple 90-degree days, walking through the marshes.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I've talked to a few of my Leo friends that I know and just asked them questions about their opinions on it. And they discussed some of the things where they see it hindrance would be and why it would be so difficult. And there's a few others that were albeit they're the younger ones saying, I don't know why they haven't got him yet. Blah, 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 blah. But the more veteran ones had some more concise and constructive criticism and or some validation for why they can't apprehend him yet. So as I've seen some people in chat they've made mention there have been manhunts longer than this one. This isn't the first one that's gone this long. It's just, it gets tricky and it depends where you are. I can tell you right now, if it happened where I'm at, they would have found him. It's just flatland. Unless he's hiding in a home, there's nowhere to go, but you get called on. And so I don't know.
You can run, but you can't hide. But here he can hide and he can't run. So.
Right. That changes the game. So all I know to this point, it feels like we're watching a movie. This is insane. This is absolutely wild.
And it's a bad movie. It's like a B movie. We're stuck in the plot. We're not making any progress. And you're like, we've got to progress at this point. You keep adding more and more actors. We've got to be able to get to the finish line here, and we can't. It's frustrating.
Yeah, they talk about life being a roller coaster, and if you can really curve the ebbs and flows and level it out, it makes life a little bit better. But this one is police activity. We've got 6 helicopters, and they're all leaving. It's all gone. And there's nothing. There's no update. There's nothing to do.
False alarm. We just spent $1 million on with chasing a shadow, and turns out nothing was there.
Right. Well, Scott, I've got this thunderstorm rolling in. It's nothing too dangerous, but I want to go check it out and see what it looks like because I've been living in a desert for 5 months and I might see waterfall from the sky. So I'm going to go see what that looks like outside as some rain is hitting my window and free up so you can give some updates on what that manhunt looks like for those that are curious.
Since we just have a few friends here, and it's more of our regular crowd that's here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you guys, it's been an incredible day, honestly, for me. It's been amazing. It's been a challenge as well for Thomas, as you know, for the mods, as we have a lot of people coming into chat that don't know the sort of that we're a nice, friendly place, and just we've had to educate some people and maybe tone things down a little bit and speak to people. I will say that we hit a new record for the channel today, and in our live stream today of the manhunt, we had over 50,000 watch hours, which I can't even fathom. I can't even imagine. We've more than doubled our previous record. 50,000 watch hours today, awesome. which is really cool. And so I want to say a huge shout out to all those who are here, our regulars who have helped welcome people in. We had so many regulars who gifted memberships. People would show up and they discovered that we were a friendly community, and they were greeted with a membership as soon as they came through the door, and a welcome and a kind word. We had some challenges in chat. I'll be the first to admit that's not the mod's fault. That's my fault. But thank you for all of that. It was absolutely incredible. I can't wrap my head around that number, and so just thank you, all of you. That was amazing. If this continues tomorrow, I am going to live stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if am I in a church? No, I'm in a courtroom. I'm in a courtroom. It's actually a green screen. So I'm in my office, and I've got a green screen behind me. The courtroom you see is a courtroom image. This little picture behind me over my shoulder is not even there. It's right here. So we took a picture and put it up there because I couldn't hang it on a virtual wall. But yeah, so that's a lot of fun, and really I just wanted to thank all of you for the time you spent, especially for the mods. Oh my goodness, the mods just working overtime. Occasionally get some people coming in there that really have no business even being on the internet, let alone on YouTube or in our chat, and you guys handled it with amazing grace and quickness, which was it made it better for everybody. So thank you very much. And I don't know, other than that,
on behalf of the mods, I'll say we're really proud to be a part of the team and with you in the channel. The spirit, the energy, the kindness, the politeness, the equalness. You let people share their opinions and all that. We all enjoy that aspect of it too, and are happy to be a part of it too. So it's what you promote and put out there that makes it fun and why we want to be here. So yes, it's work, but for us, it's fun work and being a part of something. And congrats on 25K yesterday, and you're inches away from 27K already right now.
We did hit
So
25K yesterday, hit 26K today, and we let me do a quick check, and I'll tell you.
you've got to be just a couple hundred away from 27, right?
We have 26,000. It's reloading here. Just one second. Slowly. 26,996. We're 4 people away from hitting 27,000 tonight.
All right. We're not logging off the podcast until we get but everyone, I think everyone in the podcast is a subscriber.
Yeah,
we're
we're
make it happen?
pretty much it's good. What will happen is we've got people who are watching the video. Steven says, let me make 4 accounts. We're 3 away. It's absolutely crazy right now. We have a few hundred people in here, about 431 people in here, roughly, and that's cool. But if I look at my analytics in the last hour, we actually have we've got a couple thousand people watching. So there are people watching the video from before, even though it's delayed. And,
Right.
and that's as they watch at the end of that video, I do ask people to subscribe. And when they get to that point, a lot of them will be subscribing. So we're going to hit it tonight, even if we just went to bed right now. So a huge thank you to all of you that made this possible. This is so much fun. This really is. Kayla, thank you very much. Super generous super chat as well. I apologize for not calling out all the super chats today. Normally we do. But with this manhunt, it's been a little different. Tried to have a little bit of a lighter take on things with the podcast today. Thank you, Thomas, for doing that.
Yep.
You've, as always, been carrying the brunt of the burden here in the podcast, but it's been an absolute joy to run this podcast with you, and just love it. This community is so much fun to just chill with and hang out with. So
I never would have thought we're just over a half year through the podcast, right? So say a year or so ago, I would have been like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cancel every Friday night I have in the future and do a podcast with the guy in North Carolina.
Who wants that stuff for the weekend anyway? Let's go ahead. And Future says I did. We just went over 27,000. That is just awesome. We picked up a ton of people today. So thank you. It's awesome.
Congratulations, my friend. You deserve every bit of it.
Appreciate it. With that said, we're going to wrap up the podcast and let the weekend begin. I hope all of you have some amazing plans that involve something other than staring at a screen and watching a helicopter trace a bad Etch-a-Sketch on a poorly rendered map. We've done that all week long. We're probably going to do it a little bit more, hopefully not much longer until this guy gets caught. But it's, hey, little Larry, what's up? You just came to watch. Love you. We're going to do this a little longer. Hopefully this guy gets caught, and it's going to be a big celebration, and then we get to move on to other things. But this weekend, have some plans, have some good plans. Take care of especially if you're up in an area where you're where this is causing you some stress, some mental anguish. See if you can get together with people that can help you out, even if it's just somebody to talk to and express what you're going through. A lot of your neighbors probably would be willing to do that. If you've got some friends, talk to somebody about it. Make your mental health is important. Make sure you're in a good spot. If you need to, text the burner phone. See if I can respond. I'm going to try to respond to all that I can. And you guys are great that way. But whatever you do, have a good weekend. Have a fun weekend. And we'll be back. I think I'll be back tomorrow with a wrap up of this. Hopefully they find the guy Friday night. Nobody wants to work over the weekend, right? They're going to catch this guy.
They've got to.
Anyway. That's it. Thank you, Thomas. You have some golf in the schedule for tomorrow if the storm blows over?
No golf. Taking the weekend off of golf. I will be on the lake at 6:15 a.m. for some bass fishing with my buddy. So pretty excited about that one.
Said bass fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like topwater strike? Are you going to be, throwing crankbaits?
No.
Rig worm? What's your preferred?
Top water this time of year down here isn't always the best, but the lake we're going to, so I'll be flipping and pitching creature baits on Texas rigs in about 4 to 6 feet of water to catch some bass, hopefully, ideally. If not, I'll be on the water. It's going to be beautiful, and it won't be 110 degrees. So
And nothing under, say, like what, 6 pounds? Is that the smallest one usually catch?
No. The lake we go to doesn't typically yield too big a fish, but it yields quantity.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
A day fishing is never, there's a sign that says that, time spent fishing cannot be deducted from a man's life. Okay, it's always quality time. I hope you enjoy it, Thomas. Catch some big ones. Take some pictures. We'd love to see you holding up just a big old largemouth.
You got it.
And we'll post that on the podcast next time.
That sounds great. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and especially all those new to the RA channel that decided to stick around and give this podcast a chance. I know it's different from everything you've been viewing this week, so thanks for giving us a watch, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you do, come back next Friday. We'll be here.
And if you didn't, hit the like button twice. That's Thanks, guys. We'll see you. Have a good night.
See you.